When it comes to high school sports, parents do all they can to protect their kids from harm, from the right equipment to protective gear. But there is one thing parents might be forgetting to guard their children against: meningococcal disease. That's why Dara Torres, mom and 12-time Olympic medal swimmer, is helping to launch Get in the Game to help educate and motivate parents to protect their teens. And Dara joins us this afternoon along with Beth Maddie, president-elect of the National Association of School Nurses. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Dara, I want to start with you. Why did you get involved in the Get in the Game campaign?
Well, I'm a mom and I've been in athletics, and you know, being that I have 13-year-old twin stepkids and a 7-year-old daughter, when I heard that meningococcal meningitis can kill an otherwise healthy child within 24 hours, it really scared me. And I had no idea. I was one of those parents that didn't really know the effects of meningococcal meningitis. I didn't know there was a vaccine out there. So I really want to try to educate parents about the dangers and protection against meningitis. And it's been just an unbelievable experience teaming up with meningitis survivors and hearing what they've been through. And it's sad but also inspirational. So it's really inspiring for me to go out there and try to get this message across of how important it is to get vaccinated.
Now, how does the disease relate to sports and your experience?
Well, actually, when I was in college, I had a teammate that contracted the disease, and we were all kind of quarantined, and then blood was taken from us and to kind of see if we all had it, and then also were given antibiotics, but wasn't still really educated about it. And I found out more recently that you're more at risk when you are in sports because you know, you're sharing equipment, you're sharing water bottles, and you can contract the disease through saliva, being in close quarters when you're in school. So you see it happening more so between the ages of 13 and 21.
All right, now Beth, I want to ask you a question. Well, she talked about the vaccine. Prevention really is key, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And the CDC recommends that children get the vaccine, their first vaccine, at age 11, and then a booster dose at age 16, so that would carry them through that period of high risk. So.
All right, Dara, finally, we have to ask you about your swimming. You're a star when it comes to swimming. Can we expect any competition or anything big from you in the future?
My suits are hanging up to dry. Right now I'm just enjoying being a mother and being there for my daughter and getting the word out about Get in the Game. And if your viewers want to know more about it, they can go to facebook.com/Voices of Meningitis.
All right, thank you, Dara, and Beth, of course, are an inspiration to all of us moms.
Thank you.
Brian?
Yes.
Well, Lisa, a lot of that campaign focuses on teens and young adults in high school sports, but meningococcal disease reaches far beyond that. Dr. James Cockey is a deputy health officer with the Wicomico County Health Department, as well as an internal medicine doctor. So, doctor, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So the first thing, you know, we just heard how meningococcal disease can impact youth in sports, but it goes well beyond that. Others are affected by this.
Yeah, meningococcal disease refers to infectious disease that can be invasive in humans. It sometimes causes meningitis, which is an inflammation in the tissues surrounding the brain. It's not the only germ which can cause meningitis, but meningococcal infections can also cause septicemia without causing meningitis. Either way, invasive meningococcal disease, which means invasive disease by a germ called Neisseria meningitidis, is very serious and is life-threatening.
And meningococcal is one of the things you think of when it comes to living in the dorms for college students and being in close proximity.
Well, the epidemiology of meningococcal disease, that's collecting the data on who gets it, shows that when people are in very close proximity to each other, particularly in the adolescent, young adult age, they have increased chance of transmitting germs to one another. So it's true in college dorms, it's also true in the military, it can be true anywhere where people are routinely very close together.
And in Maryland, a vaccine is required before you can even go to a college or university.
Well, the Maryland law requires that if a student is enrolling in a college in the state of Maryland and is living in a dorm, that they either get a meningococcal vaccine or that they write a waiver as to why they didn't. So overwhelmingly, students will get the vaccine.
So when someone gets this meningococcal, it can turn into meningitis or other things as well.
Well, the people get terribly ill. The main patterns of illness are meningitis, inflammation in the central nervous system, which causes terrible headache, prostration, unconsciousness, seizures, and can do brain damage. It can also, without causing meningitis, it can cause septicemia, running through the bloodstream and causing disease all over the body.
And how do you contract this?
It's an infectious disease. It can be transferred from one person to another person. Part of the mystery of this particular germ is that if you look for it by doing cultures in the nasopharynx, about 1 out of 10 people are carrying the germ, but it's not causing them any harm. And then occasionally, for reasons that I don't understand, that germ becomes invasive and causes terrible harm. And if you have a single person who has invasive disease, then they're at risk for transmitting that germ to other people around them who can also get invasive disease.
So this can be shared person to person if you're sharing a drink with someone, something like that? Is that how, common?
Well, it doesn't. It has a very short lifespan outside of the human body, so it's more of coughing, sneezing, breathing, less likely in things that you've touched or drunk from.
And the good news is there is a vaccine for this.
There is an effective vaccine. Like all vaccines, it's not 100% effective, but it does give significant protection. The national standards for vaccination from the CDC and a group called the ACIP recommend that children get this vaccine at age 11 and that it be repeated at age 16.
All right, so a lot of good information, so people should definitely be looking out for it and being proactive with the vaccine. So Dr. Cockey, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And if you missed any of this information or would like to learn more, go to delmarvalife.com and click on the Show tab. Still ahead on Delmarva Life, he's one of the top spellers in the country, and he's showing us what he's got. See what happens when 7th grader and Scripps National Spelling Bee contestant Khaled Mohammed puts Lisa and I to the test. And speaking of talent, these actors have plenty of it. The Community Players of Salisbury gives us a sneak peek of their upcoming production, The Wizard of Oz. Delmarva Life will be right back.